This is 2026. So we need to start afresh. We need to install some new things, but we need to create space. And for that to happen, we need to uninstall some things. And I will talk to you about some of the things that I am thinking about in terms of setting the scene for the year. So one of the first things that I am doing personally is I am crashing my ego. I'm crashing it. A while back in my brand building, I had obviously built, I've built good following. I have, been able to build a name for myself and the rest, and I was getting all the invites, and I was looking all good. But I was not still eating some of the goals that I set for myself in my brand. Now, I noticed that for a couple of months, I was expecting to have some results. I was expecting some results to come to me by the fact that I have put in the work, and by the fact that I have the following, and by the fact that I have become an household name. I was expecting some results. Like, it's just normal for some results to come to me because I have put in this work. And that right there is the entitlement, mindset. And it's a downstream effect of my bloated ego. Because I have worked hard, because I am doing, so I literally am doing 2 pieces of jobs, or I'm doing 2 jobs per day. So I'm doing my highly demanding job in my career, and I'm also building my brand, which is hectic to say the least. So I said, okay, if I'm doing all of these things, then I should expect results, right? It's just normal. But I then saw that I was stuck in a sort of spiral. I was stuck in expecting the results to come to me, even though I can't create the results. And I need you to listen carefully to me. The results that you're looking for, you cannot create the results. The only thing you can create is what you put in, is the effort you put in, is the time you put in, that is everything you can control. You cannot achieve anything by yourself. You can't achieve any results by yourself. You can't just say, oh, if I do this, then I'm going to get that. Yes, that can happen, but you don't control what will happen at the end of the day. Your ego will tell you you can, but you can't. You can't. What you can achieve is what you put in. And that is why I've told you guys before that your ultimate goals should be directly linked to your inputs, not to your output, to protect your peace and your happiness. And I use to step back and listen to this. Let's say, for instance, you want to get your promotion, you want to become promoted, or you want to be more valued at work, for instance. You cannot achieve the result of making someone happy with you at all. You don't have the power to do that. It's like doctors, for instance. They can, have the surgery. They can put all the things they need to put in place. They can make sure they have the right hands. They can do all of those things. They can, whatever, systems, processes, they can put everything in place. But at the end of the day, whether the person is healed or not is beyond their control. So I didn't realize that. So I had this bloated ego that because I'm working hard, then I should have the results. But it doesn't really work that way. Because all I can control is what I put in, and it is not everything we work hard at that we succeed at. Okay? It's not everything you work hard at that you succeed at. So instead of me to continue to work hard and continue to think, okay, what else can I do? What else can I do? What else can I do? Instead of me to do that, I was just, I've worked hard enough. Things should come to me. I should be able to get this. I should be able to get that. I should be able to have this collaboration. I should be able to, I just had that. And rightly so, because if you look at what people will tell you, what motivational speakers will tell you, and what people who are building your brands will tell you, if you just have this, then you automatically have that. But it's the wrong teaching. Your ultimate goals should be lined up directly with your input. So when I realized that, let me tell you what happened. When I realized that, this was like almost a year ago. When I realized that, then I changed immediately. And I said, no, you know what? I will not stop working. It doesn't matter whether I deserve it or not. I will not stop putting in the work until I see my life change. Now, the question is, am I doing the right kind of work? Is this so much I can do? Are there other things I could do? Then I started thinking about other platforms, other ways of writing. I started thinking about videos, short forms, long forms, my newsletter. What can I do differently? 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 My team, changing the dynamic, changing what everybody was responsible for, all of that. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And because I busted the bloat in my ego, I started having results, like literal results. In fact, it was after that time that I came up with the Career Mastery Hub. It was after that time that I came up with the Career Mastery Hub, because I was stuck in, things should work out because, but things don't just work out because the only thing you can control is what you're able to put in. So you shouldn't relent on what you put in. That is a huge mindset shift that will make everything easily available to you this year. Do not expect the results because you can't create the result. Expect of yourself the input into the process and trust the process instead. Because that is what you can guarantee. You putting yourself into the process, you can guarantee. You waking up early and showing up to work early and doing all the things you need to do, that you can guarantee. You having all the right conversations because you're going to put the meeting in the diary, that you can guarantee. You showing up every single day on social media, building your brand, that you can guarantee. You putting a camera to your face and videoing yourself, that you can guarantee. That people will watch the video you just created, you cannot guarantee that. You can't guarantee that. And as such, your goal should not be tied to the number of people that will watch your video. It should be tied to the number of videos you will make. So that's a critical mindset shift as you go into 2026. So I made up my mind. So obviously, building from that learning last year, I made up my mind that come the first, I'm going to crash and bankrupt my ego. I made a post about it and I'm very serious about it. I'm not going to show up like someone who has these thousands of followers or somebody who has this number of invitations to speak, to show up, or someone who has this number of products or whatever. I'm going to show up like somebody who is hungry. I'm going to show up at work like someone who is hungry, someone who is ambitious, someone who wants that promotion, someone who wants that progression, someone who wants to be valued, someone who wants to be seen. I am going to show up as that. It doesn't matter whether I can do my work, whether I'm competent or not. I'm going to show up and do the basics, and I'm going to do it over and over, repeatedly, creating value. So where your mind is at is so critical. Where your mind is at is so critical. Now, the reason why people stay in a place for a very, very, very long time is because they expect that environment, even though it is not serving them, to produce for them the result to live an extraordinary life, even though they are not putting in extraordinary effort into changing their lives. Again, what you can control is what your goals should be aligned with. If you get this, it's going to change your life this year. If you get this. And that's why you see that people give up. One huge reason why people give up is because of their ego. I couldn't do it again. I mean, I've done it 200 times. Why should I do it again? People will see me that I'm failing this exam. I don't want to write it again, because if I write it again and I fail again, people will be like, you wrote it again and you're failing again. Ego. Drop your ego at the door. We've already crossed over. You can still throw it back into 25. Okay? Bust that ego. And part of it is that There are some things you want to achieve that you cannot achieve yourself. If you see, there is a couple of factors. You are the determining factors, but there are some contributing factors as well, right? Like people. So sometimes if you want results, you need to be having the right conversations with the right people. And if your ego is up there, you will not be able to have the right conversations with people. If your ego is up there, you will not be able to have the right conversations. Because you would, in fact, first, you will not be able to have the conversations because you're like, what can they possibly give me? Or what can they possibly add to me? Or how can they possibly help me, level up? I am taking what I am doing, which is basically bankrupting my ego for 25. And I am going to work to the bone like I've never worked in my life. Let me tell you one of the ways I bankrupted my ego. I slashed all my prices. Like I slashed all my prices. Like if you see the price of any of my products, like even me when I was like, "Oh, are you okay?" I slashed it because I want to be a beginner every single time. I want to be a beginner. I want to be a beginner. I want to be a beginner. I want to have access to people. I want people to find me. I want to be found. I don't think I've been found yet. And guess what? In less than 2 weeks of me doing that, I can't yet tell you the results, but it's mind-blowing to me. In less than 2 weeks of crashing all my prices. And it's not because people took it because the price is low. I think it was more of what I did to pull people in, even if I didn't crash the price, the heavy lifting that I've done on social media by myself, like the heavy lifting I have gone out to do over the last 2 weeks by myself is the work of somebody who is a beginner. And I'm always a beginner. My strategy may change in 2027, but in 2026, I am a beginner, so I'm going to work to the bone. When you get to work as well, you don't go to work like, I already know this work back to finish. I'm going to listen to new ideas. And I'm going to be curious. And I'm going to say, what is that? What do you mean by that? That thing you just said. Can you explain it to me? I'm going to bankrupt my ego. I'm not going to say, oh, I know this. Oh, my associate shouldn't be talking to me. Or this person shouldn't be saying this to me. I'm going to listen to every conversation. And I'm going to make sure that there's no ego. I'm not going. So let me break something further down to you when it comes to like your identity and how much value and how much of the role it plays in your life. If you identify yourself with a past success, there is a high chance that you may not be allowing future success find you. If you don't dissociate from your achievements, that achievements can keep you locked down because it has become an identity for you. It is now not easy to naturally draw to yourself new achievements because that achievement you had before is where you are, is where your mind's at, and you are not uninstalling some of the things, how you're thinking, to be able to welcome new wins into your life. So, my message to you today is to bankrupt your ego. And dial it back to zero and start again. Yes, you tried to build your LinkedIn page the whole of last year and you didn't make too much progress. Dial it back to zero. Or you actually did and you made good progress. Dial it back to zero again. Dial it back to zero and start again and work hard at it again. Go to the basics. What are the basics of growth? And try to do them again. And don't say, oh, I am a manager, a general manager, a C-suite person, or a financial modeler, or nobody cares. Nobody cares. Dial it back to zero. In everything. That become a beginner. Become somebody who doesn't know nothing. And as such, for me to now know something, I need to find the knowledge, become that person. Your growth will be phenomenal this year if you do that. That is one. So unpack your ego, unpack it, and throw it back, and start afresh. And say, I'm going to do the work that will change my life. I don't care whether I have 1 million followers, 300,000 followers, or I have risen to the level of C-suite, or I have risen to the level of an executive, whatever. Dial it back to zero and get your hands dirty and do the work in the trenches that gets you to the next level that you're looking to go into. Do not let anything you've achieved in the past stand in the way. I hope this blesses you. I mean, fantastic.